options into your assemblies is another way to add layers of customization to your product, and is most often used when it's necessary to switch two or more groups in the assembly simultaneously. Here is a completed template and preview that shows how options can be used. By utilizing options, a consumer would be able to choose a circular table or a rectangular table via a single click. In this case, using options allows the developer or engineer to incorporate separate leg styles for each table. In a way, it is like having two separate paths of customization that are independent of one another. However, there are a lot of components that go into a finished template like this, and I will now show you how to make it from scratch. Some of the most important components can be configured in the Assemblies tab of the template. We'll start off with the Smaller Groups tab. This holds all of the groups that you have in your template, and to create an assembly, you click and drag them into place. When a second group is added, you have to select how it will connect to the other group. This brings up the Points tab that shows all of the attachment points that are in each component. Attachment points can be created and edited in the Parts tab on the top left of the screen, but can also be imported using sketch points in SOLIDWORKS. That way, you can pinpoint exactly where you want components to attach to each other instead of just eyeballing it. When working with options, attachment points have another use as well, and I will load another template to show how it works. This is another version of the table template from earlier, but the way it is put together is slightly different. There are still two options for the tabletop, but the circle table only has the choice of a one-legged configuration, so there are a couple blank spots in the column. Normally, the three legs would just carry over into the next option set, but they don't do that in this case because of attachment points. Each of these legs, like I demonstrated before, are attached to the table using their attachment points. The rectangle tabletop has points 2 through 5 for its 4 legs, and the circle table only has point 2 for its single leg. When the configuration is changed, the 3 other table legs have nowhere to attach to, so they disappear for the time being and reappear when the configuration is changed back. If I add several more attachment points to the circle table and refresh the page, you'll notice how the 3 legs carry over to their assigned points. Going back to the template we were working on, I'll add the rest of the leg groups. The next major part of any assembly is the Links tab. Here, you'll be able to assign a part link, material link, or both to several groups. For this table, I'm going to make a new link and click and drag all of the legs to the box and select both part and material link. The material link makes sure that when any of these components changes material, then the rest of them change to the same material. Another example of a material link would be if I wanted the supports and the tabletop to always be the same material. The part link ensures that whenever any of these parts in the first column are switched over to the second column, then the rest of the parts will switch over too. This makes all 4 groups of legs act as if they were a merged part. To help show another way a part link can be used, I'm going to switch over to another similar table template. This table configuration gives 2 choices for the circle table instead of 1, so the user can pick between having 4 legs or just 1. The legs for each of these tables are accompanied by their own supports, which are set to connection so they cannot be customized in the previews. In order for these supports to change when the leg type is changed, a part link is used. Again, this tells the program that whenever a part in the first column is changed to a part in the second column, the rest of the parts will also switch. This can also be used for making multiple configurations that can be switched using any of the parts in the preview. Back at our original template, we can finally add the options and option sets by opening up the tab and clicking a new option set. Like other tabs under Assemblies, you can click and drag your groups into the options box. Once all of the groups are in, you can create the next option by selecting Add Option. Another window pops up that holds all of the groups that you have not already placed in your assembly outline on the left. From here, you can drag and drop other groups into the second option set, making sure that each group has a similar pair, like putting both of the tabletops in the same row. Another thing to notice in the Options tab is the green arrow at the top left-hand corner of the tabletop image. This tells you that this is the driving part for the options, meaning that you can only switch options when you are customizing this part. You can switch this by clicking on the gray arrows in the other boxes, but I will keep it at the tabletop for now. You can see that the options menu is now on the screen next to the parts, and this is how you'll be able to switch between the option sets. Because the tabletops are the driving part for the options, this menu is only available when the tabletops are being customized. Overall, using options allows there to be completely separate and independent configurations for each option set. Now you can see how everything has been pieced together and how each option has its own set of groups and parts. Here ends our basic overview of adding options to your template.